What up, everybody? I'm Caleb.
And I'm Micah.
And we'd like to welcome you to This Life Together.
That's 2WO together.
2W-O?
TWO.
TWO.
It's been a long Sunday. All right, so today we have our first celebrity couple in the building. We have the Mr. and the Mrs. Soon-to-be Jones in the house. Cherry and DeLonte. Hey, y'all. Hey.
What's poppin'?
What's good? We are so happy that y'all could join us today. And shout out to them because
they cooked this dinner, boy.
Good Mexican shrimp tacos and whatnot.
I'm doing the bass salt on the microphone.
Salt Bay. Yeah, they were phenomenal. Thank y'all. We really appreciate y'all.
Thank you for the fellowship.
Because we need as much shower as we need right now. Because we spending so much money on this wedding, Lord Jesus.
Dear God bless it. Okay. But we wanted to have you guys on and just, chit chat with you guys. We haven't had a chance to have you all on the show or anybody on the show, so it means a lot to us that y'all will be our first guest.
Oh, amen.
Numero uno.
Glory be to God.
So we just wanted to give the folks a little bit of background on y'all. Can y'all tell us how y'all ended up in this life together? How did y'all meet? How did y'all start dating? Give us some background.
Cherry knew me for a long time via improv comedy group that actually Caleb was in.
Mm-hmm.
And Cherry
shout out to IOI.
Yeah, Cherry was thick in undergrad. She's thick today.
You know what?
But I saw her in the group. Well, I saw her audition. I was like, yeah, she got to get in the group. But she was egging me back then. She was egging me back then. She had a little.
I was in a relationship back then.
DeLonte would have broke up the Temptations trying to add a girl to the group. No. Continue.
But that was a long time ago.
Right. So that was an undergrad. Fast forward, I had moved away. She was getting her master's, and we actually met at another mutual friend's birthday party. And I was on my not wasting no time. Mm-hmm. So I, strolled up on her, let her know it was very nice to see her. And I didn't think she knew that I was trying to get on. So I said it like 3 times.
Nice to see you.
Then
he was like, it's very nice to see you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, come on, let's sit down and talk. And then from there.
We sat down, we had a conversation. I went to Chicago for like a...
Thirsty Thursday.
It was a Thirsty Thursday. I went to Chicago for work. And then I actually made her dinner.
Because Cherry was living in Chicago. Yes.
I made her dinner.
I remember. I ain't never heard none of this.
But I made her dinner, and from there, I had put the moves on, put my East Side charm on.
Mm-hmm. He was asking about love and stuff.
Yeah. And now we got a 4-month-old. Shoot or shoot.
Oh my gracious.
Shoot or shoot.
You know what? I am not about to play with y'all. Also, shout out to Jones. He's the one who made our theme song for us.
Oh, yeah.
So
yes.
that intro
I do what I
that
can
y'all
for
hear.
my people.
At Vibes by Jones.
Absolutely on Instagram.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
On all teams.
Vibes by Dad at the crib.
Vibes by Dad. That might be one right there.
So you guys are also in the same boat as us, planning a wedding and all that good stuff. Listen, our honey love just woke up.
Your honey bunny.
Honey love just woke up. But we do want to ask, what examples of a healthy relationship do y'all have or did y'all have? What does it look like to y'all? And if y'all did have an example of that, who were those people for y'all?
For me, we talk about this all the time. I didn't have a lot of positive influence, I think, directly in my life because it ain't no shame. My people going through their own things right now where my mom was very young when she had me. So just trying to move and navigate around that. For me, my biggest examples of how to treat somebody the right way was media. So looking at TV, looking at other shows, and I would just take different black men that I saw on TV. And I took some white men, I rock with Tim the Two Man Taylor as a father. I thought he was solid. He did a lot of BS, but he was always there for his family. So I just took pieces that I saw in the media and tried to do my best to mimic that. But it's a work in progress, and that's probably one of our, I won't say biggest hurdles, but it's definitely one of our hurdles is trying to figure out what our version of love looks like.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Same for me. Growing up, my mom and my dad they were like off and on. So seeing my mom like be so in love, but then my dad not necessarily showing her or knowing how to show her how to love. That was like what I saw growing up. But that was about it as far as like romantic relationships.
We saw a lot of what not to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's we talked about that I
that was
think
it.
in episode 1 or 2, but we were just saying like how we didn't have that many examples of love, proper
Black
love. Yeah, it's one thing to kind of find, like you said, like you have to find. If you're looking, you're gonna try to find it. If you can't find it right in front of you, you're gonna try to find it elsewhere. So it's funny that you say that because I hear a lot of people that say that they look for media, not necessarily celebrities, but they look at media like TV and
Just
stuff
that
like that.
representation.
Yeah, so I think that it's important to shine a light on those things if you are in a position to, especially like with you guys starting a family as well. So I think that it's important for people to see that.
I think that's one of the things that pushes me the most when trying to have a healthy relationship with like Caleb and even just like our friends and family around us, because eventually we're gonna have kids and I want us to be able to be the example that we didn't have.
Right.
Like same thing for me. I didn't have my parents in a situation was like, oh yeah, I want to aspire to that. Like even now they have the weirdest relationship to me. Like, but that's their thing. And I think that it's just really important, like DeLonte said, figuring out what aspects of your relationship and of your significant other really make it work for you. So even with the influences that I saw of like people who I knew that were in relationships, I did also learn a lot of what not to do, even in my own previous relationships. So just taking that and trying to flip that into me and Caleb having like a healthy partnership at the end of the day. So I just wanted to, ask y'all, what is something that y'all really had to overcome? Because people think that healthy relationships, right? People think that healthy relationships happen overnight. So what are some of the like dislikes that y'all really had to like overcome? What are some things that you was like, all right, this is new uncharted territory for me, but you know what, this is like my person, like this is the person. So I'm gonna put that to the side and work through it.
I say woo because
Don't say woo too loud.
I say woo because when we first had like our conversation that Thirsty Thursday, it was a lot of what DeLonte was saying that I had asked God for in a mate. And so I was like, oh man, like what's gonna happen now? Because I feel like he's perfect. And at the same time, it's like, okay, but what if we just only see each other for tonight? So that was something that was going through my mind. And then as we started to get to know each other, we found out that we are very passionate people. Two very passionate people. And we have our very passionate opinions. And I think that that's like really what makes us work though, because we're not yes men to each other. It's not like, oh, okay, let's just go with the flow. Let's go with this. Let's go with that. It's like, no, I got my own opinion. What do you think about that? Oh, you don't have any thoughts? Oh, you got to have some thoughts.
Your real partner gonna hold you accountable. We gonna talk about this.
It's funny. It's funny that you bring that up though, because I think that was something that Micah and I are still kind of trying to figure out. And I think for me, typically, I'm not going to snap, but a lot of times I could, or not. I won't say a lot of times, but sometimes I could just fly off and just say something. And I think it really just speaks to just how you were raised. Because I'm like on both sides of my family. Like when Micah first met me, I was petrified because I'm like, I'm gonna have to just show this girl 100% the real me. Because if she don't like me, I need to know right now.
You got to.
So both sides of my family extremely loud. Extremely loud. Like I'm not just saying like black loud. Like this is like this is like real loud. So both sides of my family I'm loud. So a lot of times Micah had to tell me like, why you yelling at me? I'm right here.
Oh,
So then I had to think like,
in my face.
so then I had to think.
I'm here.
I had to think about it like, dang, I did just yell. I'm like, why? Like she like sitting on sitting on my lap. I'm like, and I'm like, not even that deep. So stuff like that, especially like and then like just sometimes how I say certain things. It's not necessarily what I'm saying, but how I'm saying it.
Yeah.
And I know like for my mom,
that's key.
My mom is like very, I wouldn't say quick tempered, but I would say she's very, very much passionate and opinionated at times. So sometimes I might say something that might not necessarily be wrong, but the way I say it is just like,
It need to be
dang,
checked.
my G,
Yeah.
like, you know I live with you, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's just like I gotta be conscious and stuff like that. And I think it's important to not point out flaws, but to realize like what you guys what you're doing and how it's contributing to your relationship. It could be detrimental or it could be beneficial. And I think just knowing how to speak to one another is extremely important. Because I mean, you can talk all you want, you can communicate all you want, but if it's not healthy, then what you smiling at, Hunter?
That was
Honey
like
Love
one
is
of my
over here
biggest
giving us
things.
the goo ass, looking
Family
like a baby
origin.
doll.
That was one of my biggest things, just like how to say things.
Yeah.
And then like going back to that passion, I didn't know how to necessarily like anybody that know my mom talks to us like real rough. And I think that over a certain time I can count on I can count on my hands how many times me and my mom have had a conversation that's ended in like I love you. But I can count how many times she probably told me that I need to get my shit together. So I think that for me, going back to that, representations of love, like I could do a lot of the surface level things, but Cherry is very big on like intimacy. And for me, I can admit that like
Quality
back then I
time.
thought intimacy was just putting that log down. Like,
He dropping it off and leaving.
Oh my
He dropping it off and leaving.
or bringing like food or like stuff like that.
That's
but I know
crucial.
It's really
more
sometimes
than
just
that.
spending time.
But the thing is, like,
I
you're
said
so
that was in
very
the past.
intimate.
So why you getting right?
The thing is, you were very intimate. It's
See,
just
right
that
now,
you didn't label
Yeah.
intimacy
As
as that.
intimacy, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
so it was just a lot of
It's
verbiage
learning.
and trying to find the right thing,
Yeah.
trying to learn each other because I didn't want to communicate with anybody because I just feel like if you didn't know me, you didn't know me. Like I was on that. But I think with her, it took time to really like slow down because I knew I wanted in a position where I wanted to lose her. So I just was like, you got to change some things. Is it an everyday struggle? Like, yeah, like
You didn't just want to be my friend.
for sure.
Nah.
Look,
Look, I'm telling you, you know what it is when you in that position where you ain't trying to waste no time.
Yes.
And a
he
dude,
was like, I'm not just trying to be your friend.
I'm trying to
so-
tell you, when as a dude, that could be your best friend or your worst enemy.
No, but I was on that. Like
That's
you
what I'm
said,
saying. Like
if she
you
wasn't-
know when you tired of playing with yourself. Like
if she
look,
wasn't straight, I was gonna move on because I definitely didn't have no time to keep playing around. Like I had lived a very let's say fruitful. I lived a very like fruitful dating life,
Fun.
and I was kind of like tired of the rigmarole.
yeah,
That's
I mean
real.
that's real. It's very real, and I think that sometimes it gets to the point where, at least I can't speak for women, obviously, but I feel like when men it's pushed on us to live that sort of lifestyle for as long as we possibly can.
y'all are taught
And-
to aspire to very different things than we are.
Yeah, like we could be players, y'all can't.
No, not at all.
So
we hoes if we are.
basically,
Who
but
said that?
very much so.
Society.
But the society I know is very well labeled men as hoes as well. Rightfully
Rightfully
so.
so.
Rightfully so.
It's a play, but it's a different like.
Oh, it's definitely
a
it's
hoe.
completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
completely
It's
it's
different.
almost like
back
a joking
under.
kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
you know, when you get to that point where you like, I'm not only have I been on BS, I don't want to do this anymore. So it's like
You
once
sure
you get
realize that you've
it,
been on BS.
man, once you get it together and realize like, all right, what am I looking for, and then going after it, I think that's a very pivotal time, especially considering like you guys are in the situation that you are in. Because I mean, very well, like just because DeLonte was on that wave, don't mean that Cherry had to be on that wave. So everything worked out in time.
It worked
For
out.
sure.
That's the thing. The right time. We always say it was the right time because
Man,
if I had
what?
got DeLonte before, I wouldn't have known like what to do with DeLonte.
She
If
said
I
she
would have
would've
met,
ran through me.
man, listen, if I'd have met Caleb in 2009, we'd be in jail right now.
Man, together.
Both of us.
We would have been
We'd
fighting
be in jail.
everybody.
Jail right now. We'd be in jail right now. I was
Yeah, it
so
would've been
angry.
rough.
That
I don't know
timing
what
is
was happening.
everything. Timing
Look,
is everything.
It's funny to find out because I mean you're gonna continuously learn about your significant other. Like I want to say you're not gonna know the whole 100% story of your significant other. That's what
Right.
the whole doing life thing does. You're supposed to be peeling back as many onions as you can, or peeling back as many layers to the onion as you can. So I think it's funny because like I know y'all forever. I ain't never heard that story. Then like with DeLonte, not that way.
Oh.
But then like with I only hear like bits and pieces of the
Okay.
story.
She left me outside with a girl that wanted me, and like
Did you
At the party?
who?
Did you want the
Hell
girl?
no.
I thought you wanted the girl. I was trying to hook y'all up.
She was trying to hook you up.
After I told her, it's very nice to
Self-sabotage.
see her.
I was
Sharing
Dog.
self-sabotage.
That is
And
crazy.
didn't even know
And
it.
I gave her my number. Like crazy was, I gave her my number, and like she would like my pictures. So I hit her with the.
DeLonte like you like one more picture.
And
and we go
DM.
You like me? We
no,
go
I
together.
sent her the meme.
The Stevie J meme.
Yeah, I was like, you keep liking all these pictures. What's
I'm
up?
trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you.
And then from there, I knew it was certain little games that I call them ghetto games. We used to always talk about this all the time. I used to tell her, I used to play these ghetto games with you. But I knew it was like little games that she would play because of the situation she had been in and she didn't want to be hurt and she didn't want to be led astray. So she would do little stuff just to like test me. And at times, I'd be like, damn, you failed, bro. But then really be thinking like, why the fuck why am I playing this ghetto game with her? Like, she knows she want to be here. But that really just let me know that sometimes you got to do a little extra. Like, I don't mind going over and beyond for her.
Hey, if
She
you want it,
don't
you
get
Because
it.
it's
you
the
will
person
get it.
that's worth it.
Yeah.
Like
You
that
want it.
person worth it.
Because I think it's funny because I feel like this is like after the fact, but I feel like when Mike and I first started dating, I didn't know that she really was in a position where she really wasn't trying to date nobody. So I was like, dang, I'm the man.
Look at you.
She had me
I was in
holding
my
on.
single season.
Very
I
much
was
so.
dating myself.
Very much so.
I was too till
But
I
she wanted
walked
me
that
around.
way.
Dated
But she wanted me
myself.
around though, so it was that weird thing. Me and Cherry were actually like, we were hanging out together, going to Chicago, going to see each other all the time for a 6-month period before we even
Before
decided
committing
like,
to-
let's be together. And I respected her. Like I always made sure that like if I knew I had friends or I knew that I was going out because we wasn't together, I respected her enough to let her know. Did I know she was gonna have attitude? Absolutely. But it was just
Giving you the real dirty look.
Today's Sunday.
we gonna,
Listen,
It's the Lord's
this is a
day.
day that the Lord has made.
We will rejoice.
If somebody want to call the 1-800 for spousal, blink twice
No
if you
blinking
want to
twice.
say.
What you
No
say
blinking
before?
twice.
We ain't about to play these ghetto games.
Get okay.
The first one gets to the phone. The other one's going to jail.
That's the truth.
Oh, God.
And we had that. We had that like Four Loko and Hennessy, boy. We used to
Never mix Four Loko.
Y'all did that together?
Clearly y'all was trying to die.
Together.
Clearly y'all was trying to die.
We used
Where?
to fight a team of Africans at Jerk and Tiller.
Yeah, we got a whole story, but we gonna say that for another day.
Shout out to you.
Lord, we gotta have interview
Doc was
part
like,
2.
yeah, we gonna ride with I'm just
Dog.
gonna ride back with
Interview part 2.
And we would get so like I could admit this now. Like I was a big man and I ain't believe I was like, I ain't gonna be out here crying over nobody. We would get into it and I would like cry like you don't understand because I just wanted her. But she, because I used to tell Cherry that I felt like she was one of those people that used to just poke at me. It was like if you don't blow up, and this is we talk about like bad conditioning. If you don't blow up and tell me that you love me over like small things, I'm real nonchalant. Like I medicate. So it would be certain times she'd be on that la, and I'd be like, girl, I ain't even on that right now. Like, you can keep that. She'd be like, what? You don't care? You don't want to? And we had to work through that for me to understand, like, I didn't love like that. She didn't love like that. And we had two different ways that I hated after arguments when she would always try to, after blow-ups, and she would always try to come, like, hold me and touch me because it automatically, like, made me feel like, damn, I don't want to dump her on the head. But then I had to learn that like physical touch was
That calming, dog.
Yeah, so I didn't want to be calm. I was like, no, you can't make me mad. Also,
It's so easy. It's so easy to be mad though.
Yes.
Because once you get mad, it's just
You
you're
can
just trying to
live
get
in
more
that.
and more
Live
mad.
in that.
I don't know what's gonna happen when you keep going, but
Stay mad.
you don't want to get there.
I think based off of Caleb's previous experiences in relationships, at least for
They was some
as far
birds.
as what we've talked about,
Birds.
he was used to being mad and stewing in his madness because nobody really tried to communicate with him to get him out of his madness. We're not
DeLonte can
doing
attest.
that.
DeLonte
come
can
to us.
attest.
We're not
Come to
doing
us.
that. We
DeLonte
gonna
can
work this
attest.
out.
I'm like, dog, I don't know.
So even if it take like perfect example, we had an incident, and I hope Caleb don't mind if I share this. So last month my car broke down, and my car is not an old car, so when it broke down, I was fairly upset. And it was just like one of those weeks where you feel like everything just going wrong. I don't know. It might have been that time of the month. I really don't know what was happening with the wedding stress. I was an emotional mess.
Mhm.
And so, like, the day that my car broke down, Caleb tried to fix it. And Caleb really does a great job of, like, being the first line of defense. If something go wrong, Caleb is immediately going to try to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how he is. So, with the situation with my car, he wasn't really able to fix it.
Bro, you ain't never fixed no Jeep.
So,
I ain't never seen no tank before.
So he, first of all, he was like, "Your battery different. I can't even get that mug out your car." So like my battery was apparently dying. Like my car had basically started malfunctioning. So by the time we got to our destination, like I'm Googling trying to figure out what's happening with my car. Yeah. Caleb is mad at me because I'm still thinking about what's going on with my car to the point where I just bust out crying.
It wasn't I was mad at her because she was thinking about her car. I could see that she was, it's kind of like when you sick and you Google the symptoms and you find out like, oh my God, like
my transmission.
am I dying? So it's like when she was Googling the stuff, I could see every time the page reloaded, she got more and more mad. So I'm like, I was getting mad because I'm like, why are you making yourself more mad? Yeah. You know something wrong. Why are you doing this?
Wanted to hurt herself.
Yeah, I'm like, why are you doing this to yourself? But I'm like, I could have easily just said, I think I might have said it, but I didn't say it the way I should have. Yeah. Like, stop. Just stop Googling it. You know something is wrong with your car. That's not how I said it. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
I was crying. I was like, you didn't even hug me today.
I was just like,
and you forget about those small things.
Yeah.
I'm like that. You didn't even ask me if I was okay.
I felt bad too, because I was sitting downstairs, we was talking, and then she walked upstairs. She got all the way upstairs, and I just hear her from the distance, like, you didn't even hug me today. And I was like, dang. I'm like, forget this car, bro. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go give her a hug right quick.
Matter of fact, that was the day before I accidentally stood you up because I set my alarm for PM. It was a bad week. It wasn't even just that. It was like it was legit an entire week of just unfortunate. I feel like we both was having difficulty, but I felt like Michael was really going through it. Yeah. So I'm sitting there just trying to make sure that I'm emotionally and physically present. But then, like she said, like that's just my personality. My first instinct is to problem solve. I gotta help. So it's like when I ran out of options, I'm like, so what do I do now? So like, what do I do now? Do I just be here? Because I feel like I'm just in the way at this point. So yeah, so I think it's a forever learning thing, and I think it's challenging. But I think that when you are in a relationship, then when you're going towards marriage, you got to realize that a challenge isn't always necessarily a bad thing. So it's like when you learning curve.
Yeah, you really got to learn how to run into the smoke, because otherwise, I mean, you're gonna be running away. You're not gonna learn how to resolve.
House gonna be done burned down.
Man, burn down. For real. Gonna burn down. Like, oh, it's just smoke.
Nah.
Sharp from somewhere.
Man, what?
And that's what I think we do a good job now on. It's just like I said, not really. Cherry go off on me. Why the milk out? I don't even drink milk, so I know. So I know she's not upset about the milk. It's like,
what is it about?
What's the bigger issue? So that's been like very helpful for us. We had a very like difficult conversation about just. It was about sex, and it was like needs that we had. I just sleep a lot. Like I be tired. Like you hear. So sometimes I come home and just go to sleep.
Really, the after church naps is for DeLonte, not
Sure. Yeah. Every nap at the house, I kind of bait them. I be like, y'all don't want to come just lay down with me?
I do that to him all the time.
Dog, I be downstairs wide awake.
So I don't feel bad that I'm sleeping. Like everybody's sleeping.
Man.
I'm like, baby, don't you want to take this nap?
I'm like, no.
We got stuff to do.
But it's cold, honey. I need you to come cuddle with me.
And it's like conversations like that really had me step back and be like, you know what I'm saying? Like 2 years ago, I would have looked at that like an attack. She really saw a need that was in our relationship and she wanted to address it before it like spiraled or she felt some type of way about it. So it was a really useful conversation when you can have that. And it'll be awkward for a minute, but I think eventually you can just say like, that was for the better.
You gotta communicate. Communicate.
Absolutely. So we actually tried to boost our communication. We did the little love language test. I know you guys probably heard of the book about the 5 love languages.
That was one of the first books I gave to them. I was like, read it.
So I got Caleb the book, and I don't even know if he had a chance to finish the book, but I bought it for you for like Christmas or something a couple of years ago, and I was supposed to read it after he read it.
Yeah.
Never read the book, but we did do the test.
I remember we did the test. I'm like, did I read the book?
You own the book.
I don't think I read the book. I'm not gonna hold you up. I definitely remember taking the test
put
though.
that on our list because I thought we had read the book. Neither here nor there.
Okay.
So our love language results. First of all, the test was kind of wild because I feel like it asks you the same question like 50 times, and they have a couple of different tests. So they have this one, and then they also have your forgiveness language test, which I guess we'll try to like.
Yeah, that's a good one that I think we will have to.
Yeah,
visit.
I couldn't get through it. It was
It's
like
long.
taking a long time for me to get past 45%, and I ended up going and eating some cookies or something.
Oh.
But I got real distracted. I had some Girl Scout cookies. It was my fault.
Yes.
But my highest scoring category is quality time. Quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service, and receiving gifts is like last. So I think those are just like the 5 love languages, but they categorize them based on your results. So my number 1 was quality time. I have like a score of 10. Was that your number 1, baby?
Yes, it is.
Ew, ew, ew.
Quality time.
What's your number 2?
Some QT.
Mine was physical touch.
Oh,
Was
no,
yours
that-
words of affirmation?
yeah.
Oh, I know you so well. And then the next one was acts of service.
That's
and
mine.
then for receiving gifts, I have a 0.
Mine is a 1.
Said no. You
So-
don't
Which
receive
is funny
gifts.
because like gift giving is like a thing with us. But
Which is weird because I feel like at this
Yeah.
point that means we're really just doing it just to do it. Like if neither
The
one of
more
us
you
really,
know,
neither one of us really like
the more
okay,
we about
it's
to save
nice.
that money. We about to go on vacation.
We out. But like mine is, I got a 9 for quality time, a 9 for words of affirmation, a 6 for acts of service, a 5 for physical touch, and then a 1 for receiving gifts.
Yeah, so with the quality time, like it's nice, like I love you too, but it's real nice when we can just like hone in and spend time with each other. I was telling Caleb yesterday when I had text Cherry, she was like, yeah, you called me just in time because at 11, phone's going off. And I was
Yep.
like, yes.
Yep.
Yes, because, we get real caught up in our day-to-day. We already spend a good chunk of the day away from each other with work, the commute to work, and although separation is obviously necessary because otherwise we would kill each other, I think sometimes you really can't just be up watching TV. You can't be on your phone. You can't be doing whatever the distractions may be. You really got to spend time with your mate. This is somebody that you about to spend the rest of your life with in our situations. So we really need to be making it an effort because we going to continually be growing. So you always have new things to learn.
Yeah, so I think it's important because I think this was a couple of weeks ago now. I think when we came over y'all house and y'all was telling me about y'all calendar. Y'all was telling us about y'all calendar and how y'all set things up per day. And I think that's an interesting challenge and approach to making sure that you guys spend time with each other, spend time with Hunter. Just making family time, I think it's very important to kind of start that routine now because it's only going to benefit y'all more in the end. And I think that Micah and I have started to take that similar approach, but just a little bit less. We've carved out like weekly date nights. I think it was one thing after another for us. Like after the engagement, we started planning the wedding. Then after we started planning the wedding, we started paying for the wedding. Then after we started paying for the wedding, we started looking for a house. Then we got the house. Then we moving in. So it was like we really were, and then on top of that, all of that stuff, we were working. So it was like we were doing all of this stuff, and we would just come home, or she would go to her mom's, and we'd just be asleep. And then we look up, and we really haven't talked in like 2 weeks. And then it went by so quick. It's just like,
which is crazy because we talk every day, but at the same time,
it ain't
we
really
ain't talking.
it ain't a
We're
real
not-
conversation.
We're not engaged.
Yeah, like a text conversation
tired.
can only go so far.
What
So
you
I
have
think-
for lunch?
Did you
That shit
eat?
get old after a
Did
while.
you
Right,
eat? Yeah.
right.
So we had a rough
Yeah.
patch like that where it's just like I get up really early for work, and then sometimes like basketball, I get home late. So I might be tired, and in a nap that I say, "Oh, wake me up in 2 hours." If I say 2 hours, I'll see you tomorrow.
Man.
If I pass that 2 hour threshold, daddy sleep.
Man, I felt
So it can go, like you said, 5 days, and then you start to notice it. Like she at home listening to gabba gabba all day. Human interaction, but it just takes time to not think about yourself all the time. Just try to go beyond.
Them love language. We never took the test,
It's
But
it's not that long. I think y'all probably be able to get through it pretty quick. The other ones was long.
But we know like what each
Yeah.
other's love languages are. His is definitely physical touch and acts of service. What's mine?
Words of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
And yours is physical touch too.
That's
Oh
like
no,
the third.
words of affirmation, physical touch, and then it's one more.
That QT.
Is it gifts?
QT.
That's
That
what I thought.
QT.
Quality
Yeah.
time. I'll be like, so yeah, no phones, no TV. I just need to see your face, talk to you. I know.
But then she stare at me.
So wait, I've noticed that I do that more often lately. So
It's hard. I'm learning.
You be like, what?
Because I'm not used to it.
So we really adjusting. Caleb is, on a completely new schedule now. So like with his new
Yeah, it's all
job,
over the
whereas like work between like his actual job and then him teaching at the karate school, but work was really done like 6:30. Now some days work might not end till 9 or 10. So it's like an adjustment for me because it's like when
Where
you
you
come
at?
home, not even so much where you at, but it's just like when you come home,
I be dead.
I'm looking at you like I need you to put your phone down, like engage because like it's this real it's an adjustment, and I found myself looking at him like, babe, can you put that away? You gonna put your phone down? Can you?
I be out of
can
it.
you
I'm not
put that
gonna hold
down?
you up. I be so out of it. I feel like I'll be just doing that out of physical routine. I really don't even be in. I like it begins to like now. I'm still like I haven't even been there.
It's not even been a month, maybe 3 weeks.
Haven't even been a month yet, and I think I'm still learning, especially considering like we just came off of, like a huge conference.
Mm-hmm.
That really threw my routine all the way off because I'm thinking as soon as I'm like I'm used to going to work, going to teach, coming home. But then when I had that whole nother, like I had a whole schedule adjustment, I was just like,
it's a lot.
Some
I was
days
delirious.
he goes to work, goes to teach, then goes back to work.
So it was like,
It's
by the time I get home, I ain't seen her all day.
Mm-hmm.
I get home, it's probably like, it could be like 9:30. And then really, when I get home, I got to shower, I got to get ready to go to bed because I got to be up at 7:40. I got to be at work at 7:45.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I come home like, hey babe, good night. Like,
yeah.
so it's definitely a learning thing, and I think for me it's funny because we know each other's love languages, but it's one thing to know your love language, but to know how to actually receive your love language is another thing. Because I feel like considering like my previous relationships, I think that it was things that I would try to it would be things that I would try to get. But I don't necessarily, not thinking back in retrospect, I never really got to the point where I knew how to receive it. So it's like words of affirmation and quality time for that matter, I think it's still sort of an adjustment for me because I know that's what I want, but it's just knowing how to receive it. It's a totally different thing because Micah tells me stuff all the time. Excuse me. I think she does a great job in terms of just affirming me. So sometimes it just completely come out of the blue.
Summertime fun.
So I'll just be like, huh? Like
On a 10-degree day.
like it is. We're not gonna speak about that. Don't joke about that, Will. But it'd be like, it'd be completely out of the blue, and then it'd be like one of those things that right then and there it might not do nothing, but like maybe a few minutes later, a couple hours later, it'd be like, dang, I needed that. So. I think that's something that I'm still adjusting to as well. But with quality time, I think it's more than just being seated in one spot and we in the same room, because we could be in the same room, we hating each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's good.
The worst
That
feeling ever when you
Yeah, you just be stewing. But I think
Like,
it's.
I know you over there with your eyes wide open. Why you acting like you sleep?
You
I know you not
You
sleep.
feel the heat.
Man, but yeah, I think you guys. I mean, it seems like you guys don't actually have to do the love language. It says you know what you both are looking for and what you guys need.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Gotta get that love tank full.
yeah, it's kind of
You're trying to fill that
crazy
love
to
tank.
think about. Like you, as humans, we actually require certain things to operate.
Mm-hmm.
So when you realize that you really do need certain things, that when you get those things, it helps. propel everything else.
I think it's a common misconception too that everybody loves the same way.
Yeah.
And that was something that I had to learn a couple of years ago. The way that you give love isn't necessarily even the way that person receives love. So you got to really like chart that territory and know like, all right, I like to take naps, but Caleb don't necessarily like to take naps. We got to meet in the middle. Sometimes you're going to have to take this nap. Sometimes I'm not going to be able to take this nap, or whatever the case may be, to be able to balance each other's love languages out. Like, I know Caleb does a lot. Caleb, like you said, is very solution focused and just a doer. So anytime when I can take that load off of him, if it's something that's happening, I can do it. Like, I'm going to take the trash out or whatever it may be just to make it easier on him, because why not?
Yeah,
Like,
and I ain't used to that. Like, I ain't used to that.
Yeah,
I'm used to running on all cylinders at all times. So when she like, yeah, I take the trash out.
Come through.
I wash the dishes. I be like,
Come through.
what am I supposed to like? What am I supposed to do now?
go sit down.
I'm not used to this. I'm
Go
supposed
sit down.
to just sit out.
Go sit down.
Like,
Well, earlier today, I'm sick. Like right now, I'm going through it.
You going through it?
And Cherry tried to throw something away from me, and I just didn't want to feel helpless. I was
But it's real. It's so
I'm
real.
Like, can I do this for you?
right, you gotta make it seem like you really not helping, but you helping. Babe, you know what? I just know this need to go out, but I got you. I got you. You just gotta really flip it.
I was like, yeah. So, but it's even like smaller before that. I would have let that linger.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all doing too much. It's just like she not. It's just like I wanted to move.
I think the first time I really realized that, you know, we as men we need helpers. Like that's just how we are.
That support.
But it's funny because I think the first time I really realized, like because I'm always active. I very rarely sit down. So not only is Micah challenging me in that regard, just making sure that I actually take
Ain't about to have no heart attack on me at 35.
time to actually like rest my
Sit
body.
down somewhere.
We need you in one
Listen.
break. We need you
Sit
in
down
one
somewhere.
But then at the same time, when I try to take a 3 to 4 hour nap,
That's sleep.
Touche.
That's sleep, bro.
I'm greeted with negativity.
Oh.
So on camera right now, when
Not
this is
at
over, I
all.
can go home and take a nap.
That ain't no nap, bro. You sleep.
Right. Be
But look, it's funny
A
because
nap
I
is
think.
I had an expectation to get back up.
Oh,
Even if it don't happen.
the funny thing is, I feel like one day I was supposed to come home and do something, but Micah knew I was tired. She didn't even say nothing, but I feel like I was sitting in one of those chairs, and I feel like she was like, "Hey, didn't you say you was gonna wash the dishes or something like that?" But it wasn't like in a, "Dang, you didn't say you was gonna wash the dishes." She was like, "Weren't you gonna wash the dishes?" I'm like, "Yeah." Now, granted, I'm slumped in the chair. I feel like I woke up. This girl was upstairs. Dishes was done. I'm like, dog, what the heck? And then I just woke up and I'm like, oh, okay.
Even worse than that, I'd be like, just go get in the bed, honey. Just
Man.
go lay
Rest
down.
yourself.
You
And
could-
I just be
down.
legit sleep. Like, I'd be legit wore out.
I've been at home and we've been like scheduled a date night, and I might get home before she gets home. She might be at her mom's house. I'm like, all right, cool. I got a little chance to take a little 15-minute nap. It's been two
He worse
occasions.
than me.
It's been two occasions with Cherry. I just done woke up in a panic. Like, oh, I gotta go get Cherry. And Cherry already be home.
Chilling.
So,
I'm like, I understand you
And
tired.
that's the worst feeling in the world, dog. You wake up.
Panicking.
I wake up before my alarm almost every day.
you wake
To
up with
work. I'm
sweat
like,
on
oh my God, I'm gonna be late.
Don't be late. Don't be late. Don't be late.
Exactly, for real.
Like, it's funny because I had to get used to, I don't work on Mondays now.
Mhm.
So, not having that, and I got that internal clock of waking up on Monday and going to work. So, I wake up like, oh my God, I'm gonna be late.
Oh no.
I had to remind
You
him
gotta
the first
calm
time,
yourself.
like, yeah, I need you to turn that alarm off. Turn it off now.
I was about to get
We
dressed.
don't need it on Mondays.
Dog.
We don't need it on Mondays.
It's
Man.
okay. You do.
But with
It's
that
so-
support, something that DeLonte does that I think is very helpful is he asks like how he can support me, or that's what we try to do for each other, because you can't necessarily always assume going back to
sure.
the whole like assuming like how a person is going to love you, how you might receive that. Sometimes you just need something
Sometimes you-
different, and you're
yeah.
like, okay, thank you for asking. This is what I need you to do. This is what I need at this moment. Please just give it to me.
Because sometimes it
Please.
just changes. Like, it
It
varies.
changes.
Like,
Yeah.
we grew up involving individuals. Sometimes it's going to be different than it was a week ago or even a day ago.
And
just how
that's
we
the
are.
challenging part, because your significant other, your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, they are not going to be the same person forever.
No.
No.
Let
Oh,
alone
thank
look
God.
the same.
Oh,
Man,
thank
for
God.
real.
'Cause we don't got no bill money.
Bill, man.
Mm-mm.
Wait, what? Why did you just get
That's
so
when the
dark?
theme music started playing again.
I don't be the one with you.
Oh my
Speaking of songs though, Mike and I did. I think was that our first episode? No, that was our second episode. I think.
That was our This Is How I Met Your Mama episode.
Yes. So we concluded that episode by asking each other. We challenged each other to kind of give a soundtrack to our relationship.
What's your playlist?
So we wanted to challenge y'all. So what song would you say best defines your
That's
relationship?
so hard because we love music.
Well, we did too.
Oh, that's why
We had a
That's
huge
why we
array
picked
of
this
music.
for y'all.
Old
We
school
picked this
music
for
too.
y'all.
Oh,
Yes.
man.
I'm gonna go wild card. I won't go
Wild card.
like R&B. We both like The Voice, or she likes The Voice, and I'm like growing into it.
Mhm.
There's an episode of The Voice. His name was Jeff Buckley, and he sang a song. It's called "Broken Roads."
Is it by Rascal Flatts?
Yeah, it's by Rascal Flatts.
I
But it's
told you.
it's his
Shout out to
version.
DeLonte.
So it's like
Favorite song.
every
Really good.
almost dream led me to where you are. Lovers
Yep.
that broke my heart. They were like northern stars,
Wanted
guiding me on my way into
way.
your loving arms. So it was just like seeing
That's a
everything
jam.
I had already been through, kind of led me to this moment. It was like a good thing.
God bless the broken road that led me straight to you. Caleb be like, I never heard that song before in my life. But
Man,
it's the greatest.
Never heard no
Gotta
Rascal
listen
Flats.
to it.
It's the greatest.
It's country.
Yes,
Country.
It is. Yes, it is.
I think. Well, one of the songs would be Auntie Riri, and it would be
That's
I'm in
Aretha
love.
Franklin.
Oh,
I
Aretha
thought you meant.
Franklin.
I
I'm
thought
so
you meant
sorry.
the Rihanna High or
Oh,
Rihanna
no,
Navy.
No.
I was like, she an auntie?
No, she not the original Riri.
Not that Riri.
Oh,
Not
okay.
that
We
Riri.
only buy the Riri on
Aretha
Tuesdays.
Franklin.
Tuesdays only.
Yes. I think it's I'm in love and it's daydreaming. The lyrics to daydreaming, y'all, it's so beautiful.
So I just made a story. What was that last week? Of Caleb standing right here, and Daydreaming was the song that I played on the story. Yeah.
Oh, it's like when you just want to give your all to that person. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, this is everything.
It's like, all right, Auntie Riri.
That's one of the jams. That's one of the jams.
Yes. I wonder
For
if
sure,
that's
for
on that
sure.
vinyl that we get.
And Sam Cooke. I love you. I love you.
I love you,
for
Cindy.
sentimental reasons.
I love you, Cindy.
Moon River by Frank Ocean.
Yes.
Wait, what was it?
Moon
Moon
River.
River.
It's a cover of what's the white man name that everybody loves? Sinatra.
Oh,
Moon River.
yeah.
That.
That's the jam.
Yeah, we just
I
feel like
heard
I
that
think
song.
our love is
Check that
very.
out.
People think of our love as like an upbeat thing, but I think that our love is like that.
It's chill.
that
Slow
dark
and steady.
house
Yeah.
mix.
I would classify it as jazz.
Nah.
Negative.
I'm not. No. I think dark has a certain conversation. Like dark is black. Black is beautiful.
Like, it's
I
beautiful
think
all
he
the
mean
time.
like end of the night slow jam kind of dark house
We
music.
nasty.
You know what?
Oh my God.
We are all over the place.
I was rubbing her booty like crazy, y'all.
In the kitchen?
We all over the place.
Not over the food.
Lord of mercy.
Not over the food.
That's when you talking about that seasoning.
Lord of mercy.
Lord of mercy.
Don't
Don't like the
Moon by
beach.
Erykah Badu.
Other side of the game.
Other side of the game. Orange Moon, Erykah Badu. I can make you put your phone down.
I can make it. I can make it. I can
Since
make it.
way back by Drake, Party Next Door.
Okay.
Party Next Door. Latest and greatest.
Ladies and
Yes,
greatest.
that's
Ladies and
one of our
greatest.
faves.
Ladies,
Yes. Yes. Man.
What was that, the wood?
Hits.
That was the
at end.
wood.
That's at
Yeah.
end. Yep.
Hits.
Yeah.
All the
That
hits,
it
all
was
the classics.
very. I think I might still have my list. My list was like so random.
Back that ass up by
Yeah.
Juvenile.
Man, that's
Has
number-
to be on the list.
That's top
Has to be
five.
on the list.
That's top five.
You
No,
can't-
no.
you can't-
Actually,
you
I
can't
take
have
that
a
back.
list without
That's
that.
actually not on my list.
Top five.
That's not on our list.
No.
That would be on you and your mom's list because y'all be going crazy when that come on. But
You say you working
Jam.
chopper style.
Shit.
Chop, chop, chop.
Chopper
First
style.
of all, that's because Chopper Style got like a special kind of.
Chopper style has a very special place in my heart.
At the very.
And I blame
first-
DeLonte because he played it, and it was my first time asking Mike out, and I was like, Chopper Star came on. I wasn't just looking.
First
It
of all,
wasn't like
I didn't even say
Godzilla.
that was you asking me out because that wasn't a date.
It was
The
in my
very
head.
first time we intentionally hung out outside of work was at the flashback party, and I don't even know what was happening, but Chopper Style came on, and I lost my mind.
Hey.
Somehow Caleb came up behind me like, no.
Ah.
This ain't the place. This ain't the place.
Wow. She was on the look. I looked up. The girl was on the wall. I'm like, hold
Don't be telling
on.
my stories.
Like, hold on.
He came and put my leg down like, no.
It's too many witnesses. What is she doing?
Chopper. You had to walk behind and be like, see what?
In my mind, I walked up behind her like,
No.
but you about to be my woman.
You an independent woman.
Can't be doing this.
Yes.
Lord of mercy.
I guess I didn't know that part.
You did not. But you found out like 3 days later.
I was not privy.
Multidimensional.
I was not privy to that information.
Yes.
Oh, Work
Come
by
on.
Rihanna.
Of course, that's like.
I was about to say, I know we got to be at least one Riri song on this list.
It's so many songs. We trying to give y'all
Listen.
songs steady.
When we first
It's
started
so
dating,
cool.
like month 2 or 3, we
Mhm.
just started, and I think at this point, this was before either of us had Tidal. We was still on like Apple Music
Yeah.
playlist. Like literally was adding songs every
Lord.
day. Like, oh, I dropped some new tracks on your playlist,
Aww.
and it was the craziest thing. Like Caleb's picture for his playlist is this picture of him when he was like 1. He was like,
Yeah.
he was like, how did you get this
The
picture?
little one. From
Your
back
mama
in the
basement?
day. See,
Yeah.
it's your mama basement.
He didn't even know I had the
Everybody
picture.
see all the pictures from your mama
He
basement.
didn't even know I had the
Bruh.
picture. I was like, look at my little butterball.
Oh.
This one was Caveman.
Shout out to Monty Mag. But I think one of the things that I definitely wanted to talk to y'all about while we had y'all was that we are in the same situation where we're planning weddings. We just looking forward to just planning for the future.
Yes.
And I think that, Mike and I have expressed our woes and our tribulations and just different situations that we've gone
What's
through.
the craziest thing that has happened? And I know I've asked y'all this question like 3 times. What is the craziest thing that has happened to y'all since y'all have been engaged in the process of planning this wedding? What's the craziest thing?
The craziest.
People feel like, I think for the most part, people know that me and her deranged.
Ah.
Like people know I die with shit.
That's
For the most part,
Passion.
for the most part, yeah.
that
I love her to death.
I
I love her to death. So it's just like
Yo, death.
Dang. Oh my
Because
God.
that's how Christ loved the church.
Listen.
You
Okay.
die for him.
He died for the church.
I
Yeah.
doubt it.
You better love me like Christ
You
loved the church.
love me like Christ loved the church.
So I think for the most part, like anything that's probably happened crazy, we probably had some good crazy things, like getting a discount on our venue, having
Yes,
individuals in the
praise the
family
Lord.
that can fill certain like vendor goals for us. We haven't.
All our family is
Craziest
on the
thing
wedding.
that happened since we've been preparing for a wedding
Oh,
is
the baby.
the birth of the baby girl.
Hey!
Whoop, whoop, turn up. Turn up.
She might be walking by then.
Okay.
Our wedding is
Man.
the week before her birthday, or the week after her
Mhm.
first birthday.
Mhm.
Aw.
That's gonna be lit.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good month span right there.
Yes, November.
So I think for us it was just that adjustment and just like going from fiance father.
Yeah, it's a lot of
It's a lot.
change at one time. I think for
Yeah.
us it's been pretty similar too in a lot of ways, at least on the
The
beneficial side.
transitions.
Like
So many transitions.
People-
God been coming through, showing up and showing up.
it's crazy. Like people say all the time, like, oh man, like just let me know if there's anything that I can do to help. But I feel like people bypass that step and just like, hey yo, open your front door, basically. Like open your front door. We got some
Yes.
food for you.
Blessings.
We got
Yeah.
some money
Yeah.
for you. Like,
Yeah,
I
whatever.
pay for your
Yeah.
makeup. I pay for your hotel room. It's just
Yeah.
like, huh?
We're really blessed.
Yeah, and
very,
it's
very
like
blessed.
it's
Yeah, like people did a lot of cooking for us when we first got the baby, and I think I was talking to her about this earlier. It's just like we really been blessed. I've been to the store one time to buy Pampers
Okay.
in 4 months.
She got
Like
Pampers.
no
for
Pampers, no
days.
wipes, no clothes. We buy clothes because we might want to.
That's what happened when you got a cute baby.
For days.
Dang.
Oh.
Shout out to the village.
Shot fire. Pow, pow.
Man. So I
For the
got Micah got this thing
kids.
about she
Listen.
don't have no fear in her heart about calling baby ugly.
Listen,
I
I'm
feel a
sorry.
way about
You
that.
call babies ugly?
I don't call babies ugly. I'm just not going to
Oh,
lie to you and tell you
oh,
your baby
of
is
course.
cute. I will.
What
I
would you
will.
say?
Nothing.
That's
If I don't have anything nice
gotta
to say,
comment on
I'm
the
not going to
clothes.
say. I'm not going to say anything about.
So when
their
Cherry and
features.
Mike
Wow.
comment on your baby
gotta comment
clothes,
on
you
your
know what they calling you, baby.
Your baby look like it done been here before. Baby got a full-time job.
Man.
Fresh out the womb.
Look.
Grown woman, grown man.
Oh my god.
Grown
Yeah.
woman, grown
So
man.
Cause
yeah.
there be some babies that be looking a little rough now. I ain't gonna hold
But
you
it's the
up.
stress that they go through.
Like what? Why your
The
baby got a
stress.
5 o'clock shadow? We on day 2.
It's the stress.
We on day 2 of life.
Stop it. Stop.
Like people have been a huge like
A
just,
huge help.
it's good to be like young and we commend y'all for what y'all doing because it's definitely inspiration to us to see y'all like getting home, to see that y'all, you know, making strides. Like it's a beautiful thing to see your friends being young and black. And then we got engaged a week away from each other.
Yes, they got engaged the week before us, so that's what's even crazier. Like to be on this journey, like with y'all, like it's really, really awesome because I feel like we make it. I feel like it's just like such a year of love. Like so many people got engaged last year and just started families, and I just feel like yes, love is just awesome. So it just makes me happy.
Ooh, one other thing since we got engaged was triggers. More of our triggers have been coming out, but this is great because we get a chance to address that
now.
versus years down.
It be shit that like I don't even be knowing. It's like,
but that's the thing about
strawberries. I cut the strawberries in half. She be like, cutting strawberries.
Hey, he thinks Cherry a serial killer. Why you cutting these like this?
Like, why you separating the colors from the neutral colors in the Fruit Loops?
I hate being late. Like being late is a pet peeve of mine.
I'm always late.
If I'm gonna be late, I won't go.
Always late.
But I hate being late. So one day we woke up late for church.
Don't start.
And I'm not finna get us dressed, go to church to sit there for 30 minutes. And I know I wasn't finna go early to sit through the end of last service and the front. Like God don't want that for me.
And what did you say? What did you say that was triggering for me?
I said to her, if you gonna go, y'all can go, but I'm gonna stay here. Right, and I know, of course.
But that was something that my dad used to do, like to my mom.
Yeah.
It was triggering. Like him saying
And
that.
she
So
was
I'm
like,
and he didn't realize. Yeah, he ain't realize.
2 seconds later, I just was like, we can stream it. And then she was like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, that's fine.
Good point.
We're together.
It's like, I didn't want to say let's not go to church, but it's just
Yeah.
like, I'm on time everywhere else. I'm not going to be late for the Lord and just act like it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's just like things that you say. No, you reaching out for me. I just tried to give you.
And leftovers. So y'all, I
Don't even bring that up. Don't bring that up.
No.
It's probably a similar situation.
I love
I'm a
leftovers.
provider. I'm a provider. And she
So the thing
I hate
is,
leftovers.
like growing up, when you ain't got enough money, you need them leftovers for later on. And whenever we out in a restaurant, it's like, okay, let me save this little bit of an inch of food because I'm gonna need it later.
Example.
And then
Two double cheeseburgers at a restaurant.
Okay.
Right?
Yes, 2 double cheeseburgers.
A piece of bread with a half of pickle on it, a little bit of mayo, a corner of meat, 4 fries, and barbecue sauce. And her response is, "Can I get a box? You need to eat that." Or Cherry is big on like. So Michael was here, the family was here. I had a little bit of sauce that I wanted to pour in the couscous for dinner that we just had, and Cherry rinsed the bowl out. Cherry rinsed the bowl out. So when she rinsed the bowl out, I said to her, "Baby, why you rinse the bowl out?" And the reason it didn't irritate me that she rinsed the bowl out. Cherry will keep some shit in the refrigerator for a month.
Dog.
For a month.
So
we still got a cup of piss in the back of our refrigerator.
we just threw something out. I don't even remember when we cooked it. It got to the point one
I
time.
be like, I'm gonna eat that.
And I be in my mind, I just be like, one is like, do we really want to? Are we really gonna eat it? That's my first thing.
Caleb, you're not gonna put this on me.
It's not just you.
I be
You get a new
cooking
meal
food
every
in
day.
bulk because Caleb be like, "Oh, babe, we need to meal prep." Then we still end up eating every day.
But it'd be like 3 weeks. We'd be having like
It don't be
like, we had chili. So this is the thing about Micah that I still don't know how she do it.
Mm-hmm.
She'll make like normally when I'm thinking meal prep, I'll think maybe like 2-3 days. I'm not really thinking about the whole week, depending on what it is.
I'm meal prepping
No, but
for a week.
depending on what it is, like you're not about to eat chili 5
For
days in a
2.
row.
No,
That's why I make 2. I make no.
But she'll make.
no,
That's
a
my
loose
thing.
burger one day,
Nah.
a coney dog the next day.
You gotta change up the styles.
That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling.
I make 2 meals. When I
made-
meal prep for the week, I make 2 meals
And then we
for
have-
the reason of us not eating the same thing every day. And
But-
then 9 times out of 10,
She'll eat one thing
Monday-
and I eat another one.
that's true too. But Monday, we're also 9 times out of 10 going out to eat. So we gonna have leftovers.
And-
I'm very bad at eating the leftovers.
She get
from
a new
restaurants.
meal every
I'm not
day.
gonna bring. I'm gonna bring them home. I'm not
Look.
gonna eat them. If Caleb don't eat them, we gonna throw them away.
Look, so we don't eat the same thing in the household. So a lot of times it's fat ass piece of chicken.
Look, you know it's bad. You know it's bad when you take this, when you finally throw it away. And whatever you made got a 2-inch layer of liquid water at the top.
No, when you think y'all lost the pot. Dog, like, baby, what that pan?
Listen, we got like 5 Tupperware containers. I'm like, what happened to our Tupperware? We got so much Tupperware at the housewarming. I'm like, somebody done robbed us.
She come home. I come home. She like, what happened to all that Tupperware? I'm like, I don't know.
In the freezer.
We look in the freezer. It's what, vegetable soup?
I'm like, I don't even remember making this.
But it's small things like that I think sums up what we getting at. It's just like, yeah, them things, man. Leftovers irritate.
But that's the thing, though. I think
she'll cook 1 egg and save a fourth of it. But I
think that's it. Gets to the point sometimes. I swear, sometimes you really gotta just bust out laughing like, dog.
You have to.
What the heck?
I'm not bringing home no more leftovers.
Oh man,
I'm not bringing nothing else
I felt
home.
so bad, man. I think we went to Texas Row House. The last time we went, Micah had some leftovers, and she was like, she gonna say, if I bring this home, you gonna take it for lunch. I'm like, cool. I was supposed to take it to lunch the following day. I forgot, right?
We just threw that out.
We just threw that out. Today. I feel like that mug was in the refrigerator for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, we just threw that out today.
I looked at it, I'm like, oh, I thought you said you was going to eat that.
Matter of fact, it wasn't 2 weeks. It was after we went to go see Us. So it's been in there since last Friday. We just threw that out today.
Yeah.
And I purposely called myself getting a smaller portion of food because I'm like, I don't want all these leftovers because I never eat the leftovers.
Man, now our refrigerator looking like we ain't got no jobs.
Today was also grocery shopping day and we didn't go.
We can go tomorrow. We can go tomorrow.
We decided we were going to stop going grocery shopping on Sunday because the produce be trash.
Yeah.
So,
at least at Meyer on 96 Middleborough, y'all need to get it together if y'all hear this.
Man, don't even get me started on the one on Grand River because y'all are just
y'all should have left Red for high school.
Them lines be ridiculous.
Y'all should have left Red for high
Somebody
school.
selling dime bags out the drawer because we taking too long.
At Meyer? On Grand River?
Shh. You get jammed up, don't mention my name.
I know nothing. nothing.
Y'all niece about to stop this interview.
That's all right. We on honey time, but we are going to go ahead and wrap it up. We really thank you guys for coming and being on the show. And we'll probably have y'all back again because we got to have part 2. We got some other conversations and loose threads. Of course. There you got to tie up. But we thank y'all for coming on. We love y'all.
We love you.
Everybody, don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And this has been another episode of This Life Together. Honey said bye.
Peace.